Welcome back to Arsenal Trends. Arsenal are making headlines with a sensational move for Real Madrid superstar Vinicius Jr., and the club's owners are reportedly ready to go all out to make it happen. Could this become the biggest transfer in Arsenal's history? We'll break down everything you need to know. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to Arsenal Trends, like this video, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest Arsenal news. Arsenal have taken one of the boldest steps of the 2026 summer transfer window by seriously exploring a sensational move for Real Madrid superstar Vinicius Jr. What initially appeared to be another ambitious rumour has now developed into a genuine project inside the Emirates, with reports indicating that the club's ownership has become directly involved in the pursuit. This is no ordinary transfer inquiry. Arsenal understand that signing one of the world's best footballers would require extraordinary financial commitment, careful negotiations, and a convincing sporting vision. Despite those challenges, the Gunners are prepared to test the market and see whether an opportunity exists. According to multiple reports, Arsenal have already opened discussions with Vinicius's representatives at Rock Nation to present their long-term sporting project and understand the player's position regarding his future, Arsenal's biggest transfer ambition yet. For several seasons, Arsenal have steadily rebuilt under Mikel Arteta. After returning to the Champions League, competing for major trophies and strengthening almost every area of the squad, the club now appears ready to make another statement. Rather than settling for another promising young talent, Arsenal are exploring the possibility of signing a player already regarded as one of football's elite. Vinicius represents exactly that. The Brazilian winger has established himself as one of Real Madrid's most dangerous attacking players, combining breathtaking pace, exceptional dribbling, creativity, and consistent goals. He is already among the biggest names in world football and remains one of the most marketable athletes in the sport. Signing a player of that profile would instantly transform Arsenal's attack while sending a message to every rival across Europe. Arsenal's owners are personally involved. Perhaps the most significant aspect of this story is the reported involvement of Arsenal's ownership. Normally, negotiations of this size are handled primarily by the sporting department, but this situation is different. Reports suggest Arsenal's senior decision-makers have analysed the enormous financial commitment required and are prepared to support the deal if circumstances make it possible. The club reportedly believes it has the financial strength to compete should Vinicius become genuinely available. That level of backing demonstrates how highly Arsenal rate the Brazilian. Contact with Rock Nation. Another important development is Arsenal's communication with Rock Nation, the agency representing Vinicius Jr. Rather than making an official bid to Real Madrid, Arsenal have focused first on understanding the player's ambitions and presenting their sporting project. This approach is common in elite transfers. Before clubs commit hundreds of millions of pounds, they first establish whether the player would even consider joining. Reports indicate Arsenal have outlined their vision under Arteta, the club's ambitions to compete for the Premier League and Champions League every season, and the opportunity for Vinicius to become the face of a new era. Why could this transfer even be possible? A year ago, suggesting Vinicius would leave Madrid sounded almost impossible. Today, however, circumstances are different. His contract situation has created uncertainty after negotiations over a new deal failed to produce a breakthrough. While Real Madrid continue trying to extend his contract, discussions have reportedly been complicated by salary expectations and other financial terms. With his deal entering its final year, Madrid face an important decision. If no agreement is reached, they eventually risk losing one of their biggest stars without receiving a transfer fee. That possibility has encouraged clubs like Arsenal to monitor the situation closely, the financial challenge. Although Arsenal are ambitious, everyone involved understands the enormous financial obstacle. The transfer fee alone could exceed £130 million. Then come signing bonuses, image rights agreements, agent commissions and wages that could make Vinicius Arsenal's highest paid player by a considerable distance. Reports suggest Arsenal have internally examined the numbers and are even prepared to include lucrative commercial arrangements in any proposal if negotiations progress. Even for a financially healthy club, this would represent one of the biggest investments in football history. What would Vinicius bring? From a football perspective, the attraction is obvious. At only 26 years old, Vinicius is entering what many consider the prime years of his career. His ability to beat defenders one-on-one is among the very best in Europe. He stretches defences, creates space for teammates, scores important goals and performs on the biggest occasions. His arrival would give Arsenal an attacking trio capable of frightening any defence in world football. Arteta has consistently spoken about signing players capable of deciding major matches. Vinicius fits that description perfectly. Why Arsenal believe they have a chance. Despite Real Madrid's global status, Arsenal believe their sporting project has become increasingly attractive. The club can now offer regular Champions League football, a young squad capable of competing for many years, an ambitious manager in Mikel Arteta, major financial backing, a leading role in one of Europe's biggest clubs. These factors are central to Arsenal's pitch as they attempt to convince one of football's brightest stars, Real Madrid's position. Despite Arsenal's interest, Real Madrid are not actively looking to sell. The Spanish giants remain confident they can convince Vinicius to stay and are continuing discussions over a contract extension. Club officials reportedly believe the Brazilian's priority is still to remain at the Santiago Bernabeu if an agreement can be reached. That means Arsenal cannot simply submit an offer and expect negotiations to begin. Everything depends on how the contract talks between Vinicius and Madrid develop over the coming weeks. Mixed signals surrounding the player. While Arsenal's interest is genuine, reports differ over how advanced the situation is. Some outlets say Arsenal have presented their vision through Vinicius's representatives, while others report that people close to the player insist his priority remains signing a new contract with Real Madrid, and that direct contact has been limited. The common theme, however, is that Arsenal are closely monitoring the situation and are prepared to act if an opportunity arises. What happens next? The coming weeks could determine whether this becomes one of the biggest transfers in football history or simply another fascinating transfer saga. If Vinicius reaches an agreement with Real Madrid, Arsenal will almost certainly move on to alternative targets.